Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. It's busy this time of year, especially for travelers, and in today's program we'll find out tips on making travel easy and more enjoyable. Something else you need to be aware of this time of year, with all the pastries and high-calorie foods served during the holiday events, we tend to gain a few pounds. Medical reporter Stephanie Strong will tell us why it's important to maintain a healthy weight. Then Community Information Director Dave Byron sits down for a chat with Interim Fire Chief Jeff Smith of Volusia's Fire Services for a discussion about fire safety during the holiday season. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Nineteen Volusia citizens recently completed Volusia County's 12-week Citizens Academy class and shared their experiences at a recent meeting of the Volusia County Council. Their comments had a common theme: how impressed they were with the county's organization and cost-saving efforts. They were also quite taken with the dedication and discipline shown by the county employees they met along the way.
We were treated very well everywhere, and people were joyful to tell us about what they do and how they do it, and it's really been an eye-opening experience for all of us to see the many things that our county does.
Citizens Academy is a hands-on awareness program designed to educate and inform citizens about how county government operates.
The entire class for itself was, all I can say, it was great, because I'm looking at the similarities to how you run as far as city functions, and they're so closely related. So therefore, there's a lot of information to which I did take from it, and I'm going to take back. I'm also the chairperson for Zone 5 Neighborhood Watch, to which I can educate those who didn't come, let them know how the county really functions. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Great. After the County Council congratulated them for their participation, many of the Citizens Academy members promised to give back to their community by serving on one of the county's 28 advisory boards. Advisory boards are a great way for citizens to get involved in the important issues that affect our community. These groups research and make recommendations to the Volusia County Council on a variety of topics. For more information about Citizens Academy or the county's advisory boards, you can visit volusia.org/government. It's that time of the year when travel picks up along airways and highways, and Steve Cook of the Daytona Beach International Airport has some advice on making your travel easier and more enjoyable. Steve Cook, Business Development Manager for Daytona Beach International Airport, said while the county-run airport offers parking in front of the terminal and is less congested than larger airports, travelers still need to allow additional time for airport ticketing and screening. And he offers important advice for people traveling with gifts.
But for holiday travel, one thing you want to not do is bring wrapped packages through the airport, because those packages will have to be opened by the TSA, and you really should not do that. And you want to plan your trip. You want to leave early and make sure you've got all your connections lined up before you travel and you've done all your planning. And then the trip can be very smooth. But we're anticipating this year a lot of holiday travel.
Beyond the holiday travel season, some additional travel tips include packing fragile items in carry-on bags to minimize the risk of damage and loss. Identification tags should be in and on all baggage, including laptops, and finally, do not lock your bags. If TSA security officers need to open a locked bag for inspection, they may have to break your lock. In addition to saving time, Cook said travelers can save money by shopping early for tickets.
What we recommend people do in Daytona Beach is, because we don't have as many airlines as some of the other airports certainly, is to get out in front of your travel date. Start comparing fares about 60 to 45 days out, because often when you make a comparison, you might see it higher or lower, but that fare can come down if a particular flight is not selling.
The county-operated airport is located on International Speedway Boulevard in Daytona Beach, accessible from Interstates 4 and 95. For more information about holiday travel tips, you can visit flydaytonafirst.com and click on Flight Information and then Travel Tips. Volusia County Emergency Management has partnered with Radio Disney Orlando to help teach local elementary students about emergency preparedness. Radio Disney's Rockin' Road crew recently visited students at Stark Elementary School and used hands-on games such as Get Ready Game Show, Prepare Your Pet, and Flood Trivia to teach the students the importance of being prepared for emergencies. The goal of the partnership with Radio Disney is to get children involved in preparedness so that the whole family can stay safe.
As you can imagine, anything that's associated with Disney, the kids are going to be real excited about. And they make, through their games that they present, they make learning about disaster preparedness fun. You know, they teach them how to put together a disaster preparedness kit, how to prepare for their pets, and how to know where to go if they need to evacuate. So, and the best part is, after they've learned that, they get to go home and educate their parents.
For more information on emergency preparedness, you can visit volusia.org/emergency.
The County Council is committed to building trails because they improve your quality of life. Trails offer exercise, recreation, access to nature, and alternative transportation routes. They also bring families and friends together to enjoy the outdoors. People of all ages and abilities can enjoy our trails in Volusia County. Whether you're a walker, jogger, inline skater, or bicyclist, we have a trail for you. To learn more about Volusia County's trails, visit volusia.org/trails.
Time now to join correspondent Michelle Coates on the Business Beat for a look at a local business.
While traveling across Volusia County, open pasture lands and dense forests are common sights, as are cattle and horses. These scenes are an indication of an economic engine worth hundreds of millions of dollars to Volusia County annually. Volusia County's farm and ranch families produce a bounty of agricultural products, managing a large portion of our county's land base and serving as caretakers of our natural resources and diverse ecosystems. The annual economic impact of Volusia County's agricultural and natural resources industries is $781 million, representing 3% of the county's economic activity. The county's 1,114 farms cover more than 240,000 acres and produce agricultural products including fruit, vegetables, honey, cattle, hay, sod, fish, timber, and plants. We spoke to David Griffiths, Cooperative Extension Director for the Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences and Volusia County Agricultural Center.
The Extension Service is a partnership between the University of Florida IFAS and Volusia County government. And the goal of the Extension is to bring agriculture-related and natural resource-related information out to the public.
A 6-month study commissioned by the Volusia County Council quantified the value of agriculture to the county's economy.
The study was very important because it showed political people as well as local residents the importance of agriculture in Volusia County.
The study identified over 1,000 farms containing nearly 100,000 acres. The estimated market value of agricultural lands in Volusia County is about $2 billion. The use value of agricultural property for tax purposes is estimated at $266 million. This value generates an estimated property tax income for local government and education of up to $5.1 million annually. Considering the economic benefit that agriculture generates for Volusia County, what is unusual is that the farm operators represent only 0.3% of the county's total population. Agriculture employs 6,000 workers, less than 1% of the county's total population, and an additional 2,300 support jobs in transportation, wholesale, and other related employment sectors.
The agriculture industry goes far beyond the farm. Many people are employed through the agricultural industry.
Approximately a third of the land in Volusia County is used for agricultural. more than 240,000 acres are classified as agricultural. Individual or family-owned farms are still the mainstay of Volusia County's community, accounting for 89% of all farms.
Volusia County exports cut foliage industry all over the world. The cut foliage industry is our largest exporter from Volusia County.
For example, greenhouses and nurseries used for growing a wide variety of plants, along with landscaping, contribute $318 million in commercial sales. Fruit and vegetable farming and processing account for more than $111 million annually. And livestock, dairy farming, and animal products add another $70 million. The sale of bakery products generates $18 million. The sale of soft drink and ice manufacturing generates more than $16 million annually.
During better economic times, when the construction industry was booming, there was a great need for fill material, for roads, for housing sites, for construction sites.
Volusia's rural landscapes produce wealth from the extraction of natural resources from the ground. The mining or quarrying of stone and soil in Volusia County generates an estimated $100 million annually in income. Agriculture provides valuable resources to encourage water recharge, wildlife habitat, wetlands preservation, open space, and locally grown food products. And of course, our scenic beauty makes Volusia County unique and special in many ways. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat.
With 65% of adults overweight or obese and holiday seasonal foods just around the corner, Florida's Surgeon General is on a mission to do something to help us. Dr. John Armstrong addressed the Volusia County Council and presented the state's Healthiest Weight Initiative, a public-private collaboration bringing together state agencies, not-for-profit organizations, businesses, and entire communities to help Florida's children and adults make consistent, informed choices about healthy eating and active living. Stephanie Strong has more about Dr. John Armstrong's visit to Volusia County in this segment of Community Health Matters.
His day started before the Volusia County Council, talking about a topic that is considered the #1 threat to the bright future of Florida: weight. State Surgeon General and Secretary of the Florida Department of Health, Dr. John Armstrong.
Currently, only 35% of Floridians are at healthy weight, which means that 65% are overweight or obese. And on this trend, by 2030, almost 60% of Floridians will be obese. But what scares me more than that is the realization that on our current trend by 2030, 6 out of 10 babies born today will be overweight or obese.
Dr. Armstrong was the keynote speaker at the Healthy Volusia meeting held at the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am delighted to be here in Volusia County, and I appreciate what I am seeing in front of me on all of your faces, which is collaboration across the community to protect, promote, and improve the health of all people in Volusia County. Health is more than the health department. Health is more than health care. Health involves reflecting on how it is that we can shape environments for healthier choices for people.
The cost of care for chronic diseases from obesity alone, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and arthritis are unsustainable, estimated to be $34 billion over the next 17 years.
I support him 100% in his initiative. I've dealt with several people who try to lose weight. They get very fixated on numbers, and what they need to focus on is being in a healthy weight range and being very active. He talked about using Florida fresh produce instead of having chips. If you desire a crunch, eat carrots, cucumbers, or something crunchy, and not only will you get a healthful snack, but you'll get that satisfaction in terms of satisfying that crunch.
Healthiest Weight Florida is a public-private collaboration bringing together state agencies, not-for-profit organizations, businesses, and entire communities to help Florida's children and adults make consistent, informed choices about healthy eating and active living. Here's how you can get started toward your healthiest weight. Substitute water for sugary beverages. Substitute Florida Fresh for processed foods. And instead of always using the elevator, try using the stairs. For more information, please visit www.healthiestweightflorida.com. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
As always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. Time now to head into the studio to join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, with his guest, Interim Fire Chief Jeff Smith.
Thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. It seems as though every holiday season we hear the tragic story of someone's home burning down due to carelessness with candles, shorted out lights, or the holiday tree catching on fire. And as the weather turns colder, there is more of a chance of structure fires due to improper use of interior heating devices. With these things in mind, we thought it would be good to talk about practicing fire safety in the home, not just during the holidays, but all year long. We'll be talking today with Acting Volusia County Fire Chief Jeff Smith. Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm good, Dave. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Happy holidays.
Thank you, sir.
You know, I know in your career, you've seen it probably more times than you care, the tragic fire that occurs, New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, or whatever, and invariably, you know, it's due to some act of carelessness. There's nothing more tragic than that, I wouldn't think.
Well, you're right. That's very tragic, especially at the holiday time with all the festivities that are going on and gifts and presents and decorations. It's not a good thing.
You know, it seems to me, you know, and just kind of looking at the home supply store ads these days, it seems to me that the holiday lighting has gotten better in terms of the quality. It seems to me that there's, you know, more shut-offs and that sort of thing. But really, people that are putting up the lights and decorations around the house, I mean, there are some common sense things that they need to do to keep those lighting safe.
They are, and one of the things that you really need to do is if you've got stuff in storage and you bring it out, you want to inspect it, make sure that it's all nice and safe and still functional, not brittle, not exposed wires. Bulbs are all intact and they're waterproof. And since you did mention that a lot of the home improvement stores have changed the lighting, we've seen a technology change with LED and with consumer safety with, you know, being built in with the electrical stuff.
Right.
So you got less of a demand on the electrical current because of the light emitting or the LED lights.
Right.
And you can actually string more of those lights together safer, so you're using less power from the receptacle if you have it outside, and reduces the number of extension cords that are being utilized. So that's a very good point.
One of the things, Chief, that I think people do still need to be very mindful of is the fact that some of these lighting sources are meant for interior and some are meant for exterior. So I think you need to know if you're putting those lights up interior or exterior, which goes with which, I think.
You are exactly right, and it's always good to make sure that you match that up with an extension cord that's rated for exterior use or interior use as well.
Let's talk about the holiday trees. A lot of people like to purchase a natural tree, a real tree.
They do.
And those things down here in Florida, most of them are imported. And my understanding is they could be cut many weeks before they arrive here in Florida.
Yeah, we have some friends that are, they live up in North Carolina part of the year, and you see the tree farms start cutting. As a matter of fact, they're probably about to start cutting now, and they will be packing those away, and those will find their way down here to the market. And we've all bought, if we have, I know I have, a live tree, and you know, invariably you've already got some dead needles going on before you actually get it in the house. So that is something that you want to use as a guide whenever you do purchase. You want to make sure that it's nice and fresh, and hopefully you can find out how long it's been in transit. You can look at it and judge, though, based upon that freshness of each one of those needles.
And the thing is, when you have a live holiday tree, one that is in a stand, it needs a good amount of water, and it's amazing how much water those trees can suck up. It's amazing.
They do. It seems like as soon as you cut them and you put them in place, they draw the most. So probably within the first 72, 96 hours, they're going to drink the most. But you want to make sure you do that. And because of that, that leads to additional fire hazards in your home. And that's a problem for us.
A lot of people during the holidays, Chief, you know, they like to, particularly if we might get a little chill in the air, they like to start the fireplace. A lot of people like candles and that sort of thing. So the proximity to the tree to any ignition source really is a common sense thing, but you've seen it. People put the tree too close to the fireplace or what have you.
We have. As a matter of fact, you want at least 3 feet perimeter from any kind of heat source to a Christmas tree. A little stat there on the Christmas tree fires. On an average, there's 230 structure fires nationwide as a result of a Christmas tree fire.
Unbelievable.
So the fire, you know, the tree catches on fire, spreads to the rest of the house,
right,
230 times. And out of that, leads to 4 deaths a year from a Christmas tree fire.
Wow.
So,
wow. In Florida, you know, the weather can change rapidly. A lot of people like to have the candles going, maybe open the window a little bit, have the candles blowing. You got drapes, that sort of thing. That's something you really got to be careful of.
You do, and as a matter of fact, December is the worst month for candle fires.
Wow.
60% of the time, the candle fire is a result of something being stored too close to it. Like you said, drapes or any other kind of decorative device, paper, something like that. So that's something that you want to be very cognizant of.
Jeff, you know, again, Florida does have a winter, and it can be chilly. Not a lot of nights, but it can be really chilly. A lot of people either crank the fireplace on or maybe have a portable heating device in the house. And certainly there needs to be a good deal of awareness and caution about those interior heating devices.
Some of the things that you can do with that is make sure that you don't use an extension cord with one of those heating devices. They should be plugged directly into an outlet and one that's designed to receive them. So no cheater plugs like we've seen in some of the older houses and things like that. Also shut it off when you go to bed and unplug it. You know, once you go to bed here in Florida, we like it to be cool.
Right.
We look for that. We keep the windows open, and so make sure you unplug that device. New heating devices also come with a monitoring device in place so that if they fall over or tip over, it'll shut the power off to them, so there's not going to be a problem with it catching either the couch on fire or the carpet on fire. So those are things that you can look for and make sure you have in those appliances.
Another thing, Chief, is the kerosene devices. And boy, those can be a real problem, both from you know, fumes that you might not be able to detect, or the ignition themselves of those devices. Those can be pretty dangerous.
They are, and luckily here in Florida we don't have a lot of those around. Most of the people don't utilize those. I know up north where you have the longer winter seasons and it's an alternate heating source, you see that more prevalently, but the same thing takes place. You need to make sure that they're serviced just like you do for your fireplace or your chimney. That was another thing we didn't talk about, since people here in Florida historically will fire them up on those cold nights.
Right.
Haven't done any of the preventative maintenance, haven't had an inspection to see if, you know, there's any kind of bird nest or squirrel nest or something like that up there in the flues. So we would encourage people to do that. But the same thing with those kerosene heaters. You need to make sure that you have them serviced, because they will put off carbon monoxide when they don't burn correctly. And we know that that's an invisible gas and people never know about it until it's too late.
It's just common sense, Chief, but obviously, you know, people that have too much to drink over the holidays, that's when you can be careless, fall asleep, do something stupid. So I guess it goes without saying, you know, having too much to drink can be a hazard in a number of different ways.
Well, certainly your behavior or personal behavior leads to a lot of problems, and that's like stringing lights up and things like that. You know, we didn't even talk about that, but there's a lot of injuries from that. Folks don't think about the what ifs. They're just out there trying to make it happen, and we've got shorter days now, so if you work a daytime job and you're trying to get home and get those decorations up, which everybody does, and you know, that can lead to a problem.
You know, while I got you here, you know, the rainfall amount in this area is still below normal. We haven't had any appreciable rain for quite some time. I've got to believe that the wooded areas in Volusia County continue to be dry. Is there any concern these days about wildfire danger?
Yes, as a matter of fact, when that front came through probably last week, and we had those winds that were gusting up to about 40 mile an hour. We dodged the bullet. Brevard County had a wildfire that broke out, and
pretty bad one.
It was very bad. We were worried about it. That the burn ban was in effect from forestry, so we do watch it. The drought index is up over 500 right now, so we're aware of that. And you're right. It's like a roller coaster ride here. It's either too dry or too wet, and we're talking about the wildfires that are going to come, and sometimes we dodge them. Last wildfire season, we were blessed. We didn't have a lot of activity, so for once, we got smiled on.
Well, Jeff, it's a good reminder for people about wildfires that they need to do their part around their homes. And one of the things they can do is make sure they keep the debris off the roof, keep the gutters cleaned out, have that defensible space, because, you never know. I mean, we're by no means we fireproof these days with the drought index being what it is.
No, we're not. And what we did was we went aggressive this year while we weren't out actually fighting wildfires, and we jumped into this new program called Ready, Set, Go program, which mirrors the FireWise neighborhood program. We have sent firefighters out into some specific neighborhoods where we historically have had some wildfire problems, because those houses are surrounded by vegetation and border on the forest. So we've gone out door to door, made contact with residents, pre-planned the site, gave those folks directions, face to face, instead of over the news radio or over any other method of media, and trying to get their attention. And in doing so, we've also armed ourselves with what we think is going to be a defensible area to fight a fire, or where we think we can't be defensible. So we will write those areas off if we have to. We've already done 2 neighborhoods, and we will continue to do more.
I hadn't heard about that. That's interesting. That's very proactive.
It is.
And to have your folks in uniform out in those neighborhoods is a pretty good reminder, and maybe sit up and listen to the information that's being provided directly from the people who may have to come and save their bacon.
That's right.
Well, Chief, I want to thank you very much for being with us. For folks out there that may want to get more information, are there some sources that people can get fire safety information?
Yes, they can go online to volusia.org. We have information there that's available. They can also look at the U.S. Fire Administration website. There's additional information there for them too, if they'd like to look around.
Well, I want to wish you and your folks a happy holiday season. And again, thanks for sharing the information with us today.
Thank you, Dave. Always a pleasure.
Our guest today is Jeff Smith, Acting Chief, Volusia County Fire Services. And with that, happy holidays, everyone, and back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you, too, for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there, too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's weekly radio public program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.